Hello and welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, let's unpack this. Our mission today is to cut through some of the noise and hopefully give you a clearer understanding of the alarming resurgence we're seeing in global nuclear tensions as things stand in early 2025. It's a topic that can feel a bit distant, maybe, but the trends are, well, profoundly concerning. We're seeing some really significant shifts happening. I mean, the numbers alone are pretty staggering, aren't they? We're talking about approximately 12,241 nuclear warheads worldwide.
That's right. And around 2,100 of those are on high operational alert.
High alert meaning they could be launched within minutes, right? Primarily U.S. and Russian ones.
Primarily, yes. And what's really striking, as something the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, SEPI, has flagged, it's that nearly all 9 nuclear-armed states aren't just, maintaining their arsenals. They're actively expanding them in some cases and certainly modernizing.
Which is a huge shift away from the post-Cold War disarmament thinking, isn't it?
Exactly. It fundamentally reshapes the whole geopolitical landscape.
So in this deep dive, we're going to try and get into some of those escalating regional flashpoints. We'll also look at the roles of the major powers, the U.S., Russia, China, of course, and explore the complex risks that new technology is bringing in, especially AI and nuclear systems. That's sounds worrying.
It definitely adds a new dimension.
And then maybe touch on potential paths forward.
What's truly striking here, I think, is that this isn't just some Cold War echo playing out again. It's a new, much more intricate web, you know, regional conflicts, rapid tech changes. It creates these unprecedented global risks.
You've painted the immediate picture, but what's the real shift here in how countries are managing these weapons day to day?
Well, the data points to a clear pivot. You mentioned the 12,000 plus warheads. Nearly 4,000 of those are deployed with operational forces right now. And as you said, Cyrie's report, it's not just about upkeep, it's a strategic reinvestment. States are leaning back into nuclear deterrence as a primary security pillar again. They're expanding stockpiles, not just maintaining them.
And some of those regional flashpoints you mentioned seem incredibly tense. That Iran-Israel dynamic feels like it's constantly on the edge. What actually happened there recently?
Yeah, that escalated significantly back in June 2025. Israel launched what they called Operation Rising Lion against Iranian nuclear sites.
Wow, okay.
And Iran retaliated pretty quickly with Operation True Promise III, ballistic missiles, drones aimed at Israel.
A direct, open exchange like that, that's serious.
Absolutely. Casualties, damage on both sides. It dramatically raised the stakes, and the international response was, mixed.
How so?
The U.S. increased its military presence, supported Israel, but also urged restraint, trying to stop it from spiraling wider. It just shows how fast these things can become global concerns.
Right. And beyond the flashpoints, how are the big players, the U.S., Russia, China, how are they actually influencing this whole climate?
Well, each is playing an escalatory role, you could argue. The U.S. is deep into a huge modernization of its entire nuclear triad land, sea, air. Think new systems like the AGM-181A long-range standoff missile. That's an air-launched cruise missile, range of about 1,500 miles.
Okay. And Russia?
Russia's enhancing capabilities, too. Satellite images show upgrades in Kaliningrad, for instance, potentially hosting missiles that could reach the UK in just minutes.
Minutes. Wow.
And then there's China. Their expansion is maybe the most significant shift. Projections suggest they could have over 1,000 operational warheads by 2030.
1,000. That really changes the strategic balance, doesn't it? Especially in Asia.
Fundamentally, yes.
Which brings us to that other layer you mentioned, technology, AI specifically. How is that changing things in nuclear command and control?
It introduces a, frankly, terrifying new variable.
Yeah.
I mean, AI could maybe speed up decision-making in theory, but it raises huge concerns about unintended escalation. Misinterpretations by the system, errors. There was a recent study looking exactly at the dangers of automating launch protocols. The potential for catastrophe, if it's not managed with extreme caution, is just immense.
Because the tech moves faster than the safety rules can catch up.
That's often the case, yeah.
So given where things seem to be heading, what can actually be done? What steps could help dial down the tension?
Well, reviving arms control is key. Agreements like New START, even if flawed, provide limits and transparency. That needs strengthening. And maybe even more critical is just having robust communication channels. Lines open between rivals to prevent misunderstandings or miscalculations.
Simple communication, basically.
It sounds simple, but it's vital. And beyond governments, fostering public awareness, getting people thinking critically about this, that's essential too. These risks affect everyone.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening?
Well, it seems the current nuclear landscape is, frankly, more volatile and interconnected than many might realize. It's being driven by this modernization push, these regional conflicts flaring up, and these rapid technological leaps adding whole new kinds of risk.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, it really just underscores how important it is to understand these complex dynamics. This isn't just stuff for policymakers, you know? It's crucial for everyone to be able to critically assess global security and the forces shaping our world. So maybe this raises an important question for you to think about. How can the international community actually navigate a world where both geopolitical tensions and technological capabilities are accelerating at these unprecedented, almost dizzying rates? How do we do that without triggering some unintended catastrophic consequence?
That is a powerful thought to leave you with. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. Stay informed, stay engaged, and keep exploring these critical global challenges. Until next time.